We're ready for a fun day in Springfield. We kept seeing the signs for Fantastic Caverns. A lot of signs. So today is the day we check it out. I just can't come to Springfield without coming to Bon Bon's. They have the best truffles. Can't come to Springfield without going to Hobby Lobby too, and Mardell.
The next stop sign, turn right.
On our way.
We have to duck down.
Alright, welcome to the Twilight Zone. Animals from the outside will only come about this far into the cave due to lack of resources in our zone up ahead. Now we came in through the light zone back at the photo stop. So can anybody guess what zone is right up there?
The dark zone.
The dark zone, yes, very scientific term. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the formations we have in this area. On the ceiling, we're going to have these formations called soda straws. And that's how we get formations like these. Anybody know what these are called? Stalactites, yes. So all these soda straws right here are going to form these stalactites. Now we have something in this cave that not a lot of caves have. Over here on the driver's side, we have a garden bed. So it was the 1930s, the Great Depression. What do we think the owner would have been farming inside the cave? Mushrooms, yeah. So the owner would grow little button-top mushrooms down here and sell them at the Springfield Farmers Market. And that's how he got his family through the Great Depression. Welcome to the auditorium. This is going to be the biggest area in our cave. And on the ceiling up here we have another stalactite, but this is a special kind of stalactite known as a cave curtain or cave drapery. And they form differently because the ceiling in here is at an angle. So whenever the water drips down, it's going to deposit the calcite along that angle, giving it the fabric-like texture. Hence the name cave curtain. And on the ground down here we have another type of formation. Do y'all know what this one's called? Stalagmite, yes. So this stalagmite is growing from the same drips of water as that stalactite on the ceiling. Now we have one more type of formation in this area known as flowstone. Can everybody see the orange on the back wall here?
Yes.
That's the flowstone. And can anybody guess why the flowstone has an orangey, almost rusty color to it? So the water's going to pick up iron, probably in the soil on its way down to the cave, and deposit it along the calcite, giving it that orangey color. But we do know that on average, these cave formations will grow about 1 cubic inch every 100 years. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this cave. So it was discovered in 1862 by a dog named Juno and his owner, John Knox. Now, at the discovery, the original entrance was only an 18-inch opening that went on for 20 feet before you can stand up. And John Knox would crawl through that in complete darkness with nothing but a candlelight. Look at this back formation on the driver's side. Kind of looks like melted peanut butter right now. But today we get to see it more like this. You can see the texture really pops out a lot better. All around makes for a better viewing experience. Alright, so this is our first sinkhole, and this one is about 25 feet deep. Caves cause sinkholes. And after many years of that water rushing through the same spots over and over again, it would widen these passageways, creating them the way we see them today. Alright, so this is our second sinkhole, and it's about 35 feet deep. And you can see directly into our lower level down there, and that's going to go on for about 3 miles of passageways. Right now, it looks like a dry creek bed, but in the springtime, whenever it rains and floods outside, we'll get water in through here. And then 2019, Memorial Day weekend, it rained so much in 48 hours that our water levels came up all the way over this railing right here. Yeah, it took about 6 days to drain out before we could do Jeep tours again, and we do not offer boat tours at this time. But in our lower level, we're going to have what's called permanent pools of water, and that's where our critters live. We have Ozark cave fish, salamander, and crayfish, and they all live in complete darkness and are all blind. Now we also have a small bat population of about 10 to 20 bats. Now this cave was never too popular with the bat community, but the ones we do have are all tiny tricolor bats about the size of my thumb. So right now we're about 120 feet below an Ozarks hill, and the cave, our upper level, is going to end in a clay wall 150 feet behind the projector. Now we know it was discovered in 1862 by Juno and John Knox. Well, it wasn't explored until 5 years later in 1867. So John Knox wasn't a cave explorer himself, so he put an ad in the Springfield newspaper asking people to come out and have a look at his property. Now he got a big surprise whenever the next day, 12 young women showed up at his door ready to explore. Now these were young women ages 12 to 19 from the Springfield Athletics Club, and they had been in many caves in the area before. They had all their own equipment and they had the experience. So they were the first official explorers of this cave. And they did what any first explorer would do, and they left their mark. They all signed their names in the cave wall back at the auditorium. So we're going to drive by their names on the way to our next stop, and I'll point it out to y'all. So during the Civil War, Missouri was a battleground state, which meant the military from either side could come in and take any resources that they needed to win the war. Now caves have a couple of valuable resources to the military, like storage, shelter, and most importantly, they had bat guano. Gunpowder, yeah. That's why the military needed caves during the Civil War. And John Knox knew about this, and he didn't want to lose his property to the military. So he kept his cave a secret for 5 years until the Civil War ended, and that's when the girls explored it. Get super low. Watch your head. Watch your head. All right. So this is the breakdown. Now, breakdown just refers to the ceiling collapsing inside a cave, and the ceiling in here has collapsed 3 times. So what does everyone think about the fall of giants?
Ooh.
Yeah. And the ceiling is going to get really low on the driver's side. This will be the lowest spot yet. Which means driver's side, we're going to play cave limbo. Everyone wins if no one hits their head. It's a really easy game. Watch your head.
A very fun day.